We are continuing our conversation about what is happening with Metro schools and teaching students. We're going to continue that conversation for about 9 more minutes. We have 2 callers on the line. Glad to have you on board, too, if you want to give us a call, 615-737-PLUS. Up first, we have Judy on the line. Judy, thanks for being with us. Go ahead.
Hi. I don't know if my comment's going to be very popular, but I really have wanted to say this. I think we all know, there's a lot of experts out there worldwide stating the actual infection rate of this stuff. I'm a 60-year-old woman. I have 2 autoimmune diseases. And it's from the beginning, it struck me as very odd. I've been out there, I've worked, and income is terrible. But I've worn a mask, I've done the sanitizer, I've done all the right things. I'm fine. And here's the thing, if it wasn't for the billions and billions of dollars in revenue from an untried, untrue vaccine that we don't know what the repercussions are going to be. In fact, a lot of the experts are already speculating pretty confidently on that. Why haven't they kept the disabled, people that are high risk at home? Give them some kind of assistance and let the world go back to work. Let these little kids go to school. We know the infection rate is not what they were saying it is. And I'm not saying that I don't believe this virus is not real. But there's a thing called herd immunity. And if we want to get rid of this, we need young people that are highly, highly unaffected by it to be out there spreading this herd immunity, which is protecting us. We're not protected. They go out and force mass vaccinations. There's going to be a ton of people shedding this. Mm-hmm. This thing is going to go on and on and on and on. And I think the whole thing has been a farce, and I think it isn't just the young children. My daughter has a career. She's a journalist. She's got many things going on. She's right at that age where things were happening, and boom, all these opportunities fall off the planet. Do they get another opportunity? Some of these are age, you want to get in the door while the opportunities are there. They don't always knock twice. Mm-hmm. And I think it's killing America. I think it's killing the economy. I think it upsets me. It's had me upset all along. People are losing businesses that they've been in 30, 40 years. And then they're trying to nail people that have been here for over 100 years with these absurd 34% tax. Are you kidding me? They need to clean that swamp. Mm-hmm. There needs to be somebody in there with a brain that has the backbone, to defend, Nashville for its residents. Yeah. This is insane.
Yeah. Judy, thank you for your call tonight. I do appreciate your time. Thank you. You're going in and out there at the end, but your point's been heard loud and clear. Fran, jumping off of what Judy said, and I doubt this conversation has even been had yet because we're so focused on what is necessary right in this minute when it comes to learning. But it would seem at some point when we kind of get everybody back to school, there is going to have to be an assessment to which students are ready to move on and which students have lost so much they need to stay where they are. But at the same time, I feel like, are we really going to do that? Or are we just going to keep pushing people along, hoping they catch up?
That's an excellent question. That is something that is very important to look at, because what we're doing right now, we're doing a lot of testing. So just so the viewing audience know, we've done 2 tests. We've done a MAP test, which is a complete failure. It is definitely not on grade level. I'll be surprised if the numbers even come up to any type of satisfactory, because most of the parents probably took the test. So that was a train wreck. And then there's another test, and I can't remember the name of this particular test, that they had the students take. And basically it's saying, hey, let your student take this test so we can see where they are. Well, they don't know how to read.
They're at home.
It's not conducive. And so what's going to happen when the students do transition back into the classroom, there's going to have to be another planning taking place on how we're going to be able to recognize those students that have had so much loss. And I you, it's going to be a huge impact on the students that are definitely have lost so much. And it's going to take time. And we mentioned that in the beginning of the show. It's going to take a year or so to get these kids caught up on grade level. And literacy, I think Judy is who brought, I'm sorry, Carrie who brought up that she has a point. She has a point. I mean, our reading levels are going to be definitely, I mean, and I will tell you, reading, and I'll go to this about the reading to their, parents reading to their kids. Absolutely, we want our parents, but look what all the parents have been doing so far. They have been the teacher, they have been the janitor, they've been the cafeteria worker, they've been everything. So by the time they finish, they're done. They're done. And it's not because they don't mean to, they don't want to do what they can for their kids because they've been doing it all day. We have parents that have to take their kids to work. They have to work to make a living. So I've seen and observed kids in the corner where their parents work just so they can watch them do the virtual learning. So parents are definitely exhausted, and they have done an excellent job on trying to keep up and making sure that they support their students any way possible. So it has definitely been a loss for these families.
Let me see if I can squeeze Jarrett in here. Jarrett, okay, you're going to be our last caller of the night, I do believe. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead,
I think
Jarrett.
my phone's still there?
Yes,
Great.
yes.
My question is for Fran. I actually have two questions. With respect to decision making, are you at the school board actually getting data directly from infectious disease doctors and from experts like the American Academy of Pediatrics, or is there a decision being made elsewhere by Dr. Battle and Mayor Cooper or the committees they formed, and that information and data really isn't passed on to you? And so maybe write that question down, because I really want to know if the collateral damage of mental health, drug overdoses, especially when we look at the pace of drug overdoses that is on pace to double right now in Nashville, if abuse cases, suicide, teen pregnancy, poverty, if all of that has been taken into account, because we know that approximately 75% of the MNPS kids are in poverty. That is a fact, or at least if the Wikipedia page is correct. That could be incorrect. May not have been verified. You may shed some light on that. But Mayor Cooper and Dr. Battle, as I see it, are effectively cementing Nashville's children in poverty. Medical research does show that poverty is one of the leading causes of racism in the United States of America, if not the number one cause. So I would say we've really got to be on guard and worried about how, really what we're propagating by a complete failure to return our kids to school and provide them with an education, which is probably the number one function of government.
Jared, I'm going to put the pause on you right there because we just have a minute left, and I want Fran to answer this question because it is so important. You bring up fabulous points. Where is the school board getting data from? Is it being spoon-fed to you?
So, Jared, I want to thank you for that question, because you're exactly right. This is what I've been arguing the whole time. This is what I said in the beginning of the show, that we're only leaning off metrics that's coming from one entity, and we're not looking at the others that have played a part in having the conversation as to how we get our kids back safely. So we have had top doctors who have given the advice, have sat at the table with MNPS, just like they're doing around the surrounding counties, in our private schools. That's the reason why they're open. That's the reason why they have options in person and virtual. It's because it's not just one metrics. And that's exactly what Dr. Battle and Mayor Cooper has done this whole time. It's all been about metrics on one side. Those metrics has really caused another delay and fear. Fear is a fear factor.
Fran, I've got to jump in. I have to go to break, but I want to thank you for joining us, and Steve as well for spending the last hour with us. It's been a great conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll wrap things up in just a moment. Stay with us.